In the annals of history, certain dates are etched in our collective memory. For the Western Roman Empire, that date is AD 476, marking the end of an era. But what if we could change the cosmic clock and alter the course of events? What if instead of crumbling under its own weight, the Roman Empire had endured for another 250 years? Imagine a world where the legions of Rome continue to patrol the frontiers of Europe, holding back the tides of change for centuries. This is not a mere flight of fancy, but an exercise in historical what-if. A thought experiment that allows us to explore the boundless possibilities of the past. Join us now as we embark on a journey through an alternate timeline. A world where the Roman Empire, against all odds, defied the passage of time and reshaped the destiny of Western civilization by lasting 50% longer. Let's imagine a scenario, my friends, where the internal strife that plagued Rome in the late 5th century never reached its critical mass. The seeds of discontent were sown, yes, but what if a strong, decisive emperor had emerged? A leader who could unite the fractious factions within the empire and galvanize the loyalty of the Visigoths, not as invaders, but as stakeholders in the Roman project. In our reimagined timeline, the Visigoths, led by the pragmatic king Alaric, are integrated into the fabric of Roman society. Their martial prowess, once a threat to Roman sovereignty, is now harnessed to bolster the empire's defenses. Imagine the legions, bolstered by the Visigothic cavalry, repelling invaders and quelling internal rebellions, ensuring stability and projecting Roman power across Europe. This sustained strength would have profound implications for the political landscape. The emergence of small, independent kingdoms, a defining feature of the early Middle Ages, is averted. Instead, a unified Roman authority persists, fostering trade, communication and cultural exchange across its vast domain. The Roman legal system, a beacon of order in a chaotic world, continues to evolve, adapting to the changing times while upholding its core principles of justice and equity. This enduring legal framework provides a stable foundation for society, encouraging economic growth and discouraging the kind of lawlessness that often followed the empire's fall in our own timeline. This prolonged period of peace and stability allows Roman infrastructure to flourish. Roads and aqueducts, those marvels of Roman engineering, are maintained and expanded, facilitating trade, communication and the flow of ideas. Imagine bustling cities interconnected by a network of roads that crisscross the continent, a testament to the enduring legacy of Rome. The implications of this enduring empire extend far beyond the borders of Rome itself. Neighboring civilizations, witnessing the continued strength of Rome, are compelled to engage with it on its own terms, fostering diplomatic ties and cultural exchange rather than resorting to conflict. The world in this alternate timeline is a very different place, shaped by the enduring presence of a vibrant, dynamic Roman Empire. Now let's turn our attention to the rural heartland of this enduring Roman Empire. In our timeline, the collapse of central authority led to the rise of feudalism, a system where land ownership was concentrated in the hands of a few powerful lords. But in our alternate timeline, the Roman villa system, with its emphasis on large, self-sufficient estates, persists and adapts. Imagine vast estates owned by Roman families and worked by a mix of free laborers and tenant farmers. These villas, connected to the wider empire through the extensive Roman road network, become hubs of economic activity. They produce grain, wine and olive oil, not just for local consumption, but also for trade across the empire. The Roman emphasis on education and literacy, while never universal, is nonetheless more widespread in this timeline. With the villa owners incentivized to manage their estates efficiently and profitably, they invest in the education of their workforce, leading to a more skilled and productive populace. This continuation of the villa system has profound implications for the social fabric of the empire. The rigid hierarchies of feudalism, with its serfs tied to the land, simply do not develop. Instead, a more fluid social structure emerges, with opportunities for advancement based on merit and skill. Imagine a Roman farmer, literate and numerate, managing his own small plot of land within the framework of a larger villa. He sells his surplus produce at the local market, earning enough to provide for his family and perhaps even invest in the education of his children. This vibrant rural economy, fueled by the enduring villa system, provides a stable base for the continued prosperity of the Roman Empire. It is a world where the stark inequalities of feudalism are mitigated by a system that, while not perfect, offers greater opportunities for social mobility and economic advancement. In the wake of the Western Roman Empire's fall, much of the classical world's knowledge was lost, plunging Europe into the Dark Ages. But in this alternate timeline, with the Roman Empire still standing strong, the great works of ancient philosophers and scientists are not just preserved, but expanded upon. Imagine the Library of Alexandria, a beacon of knowledge in the ancient world, still standing tall in the 8th century. Its shelves are laden not just with the scrolls of antiquity, but also with the latest treatises from Roman scholars, pushing the boundaries of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. The Roman reverence for Greek learning, combined with their own pragmatism and spirit of innovation, creates a fertile ground for intellectual inquiry. The great minds of the age, supported by imperial patronage and driven by an insatiable curiosity, make groundbreaking discoveries that lay the foundation for future scientific advancements. Imagine a world where the works of Ptolemy, Galen, and Hypatia are not just preserved but built upon, leading to a more rapid development of astronomy, medicine, and mathematics. The implications for human knowledge and progress are truly staggering. This sustained intellectual vibrancy is not confined to the hallowed halls of Alexandria's library. It permeates Roman society, fostering a spirit of curiosity and innovation. Roman engineers, inspired by the works of Archimedes and Heron, continue to push the boundaries of what's possible, developing new architectural techniques and engineering marvels. The impact of this continued intellectual flourishing is felt far beyond the borders of the Roman Empire. Trade routes become conduits for the exchange of ideas, as Roman scholars engage in lively debates with their counterparts in Persia, India, and China. The world, in this alternate timeline, is a brighter place, illuminated by the enduring flame of Roman knowledge and intellectual curiosity. The rise of Christianity was one of the most profound transformations in the Roman Empire's later centuries. But in our timeline, the absence of a strong unifying Roman state contributed to the Great Schism of 1054, which divided the Christian world into Eastern and Western branches. In our alternate timeline, with the Roman Empire still intact, the story of Christianity unfolds very differently. Imagine a world where the Bishop of Rome, the Pope, operates not as a solitary figurehead, but as a powerful figure within the Roman administrative structure. With the full weight of the Roman state behind him, he is able to bridge the theological differences that arose in our timeline, preventing the schism and fostering a sense of unity within the Christian faith. This unified Christian church, bolstered by imperial support, plays a crucial role in maintaining stability within the Roman Empire. It acts as a unifying force across the diverse cultures and languages of the empire, providing a common set of beliefs and moral guidelines. Imagine grand cathedrals built in the Romanesque style, rising in cities across the empire, testaments to the enduring power of a unified Christian faith. These cathedrals become not just places of worship, but also centers of learning and community, further strengthening the social fabric of the Roman world. The impact of this unified church extends far beyond the borders of the Roman Empire. Missionaries, protected by Roman law and emboldened by their faith, venture into new lands, spreading the word of Christianity and carrying with them Roman culture, language, and law. This alternate timeline witnesses the rise of a truly universal church, one that transcends cultural and linguistic barriers, uniting millions under the banner of a single faith. This unity, in turn, fosters greater peace and understanding, creating a more harmonious world. The Roman Empire, even in its twilight years, possessed an economic prowess unmatched in the ancient world. Imagine now that prowess amplified by an additional 250 years of stability and growth. The Roman road system, maintained and expanded, facilitates the flow of goods and services across the empire. Trade flourishes, connecting the bustling markets of Rome with the distant provinces, creating a vast network of interconnected economies. The Roman currency, the denarius, remains the standard for trade, not just within the empire but also in the wider world. This stable, reliable currency fosters trust and encourages long-distance trade, further enriching the coffers of Rome. Imagine Roman merchants, their ships laden with grain, olive oil and fine silks, sailing the Mediterranean, their trade routes extending as far as India and China. The wealth of the world flows into Roman ports, further fueling the empire's economic engine. This economic prosperity allows the Roman state to invest in public works, further strengthening its infrastructure and improving the lives of its citizens. New aqueducts bring fresh water to burgeoning cities, while grand public baths and amphitheatres provide spaces for leisure and entertainment. The Roman Empire, in this alternate timeline, becomes a model of economic success, a beacon of prosperity in a world still struggling to emerge from the shadow of the ancient world's collapse. Its economic might underpins its military power, allowing it to maintain its dominance and ensure continued peace and stability. While the Roman legions were renowned for their discipline and effectiveness, by the 5th century AD, they faced increasing challenges from more mobile and technologically advanced adversaries. But in our alternate timeline, with the Roman Empire enjoying prolonged stability, the legions are not standing still. They are evolving. Imagine Roman military academies where the latest tactical theories are debated and tested. The legions, no longer content to rest on the laurels of past victories, are constantly innovating, incorporating new technologies and adapting to the changing face of warfare. One of the most intriguing possibilities in this alternate timeline is the Roman encounter with gunpowder, which in our timeline originated in China. Imagine Roman engineers, their curiosity piqued by this strange new substance, experimenting with its potential military applications. While it's impossible to say for certain how rapidly this technology would have been adopted, it's not inconceivable that the Roman legions, always at the forefront of military innovation, would have found ways to incorporate gunpowder weapons into their arsenal. Imagine the Roman legions equipped with early forms of cannons and firearms, their tactical formations adapted to maximize the effectiveness of these new weapons. Their enemies, accustomed to facing the traditional Roman legions, are caught off guard by this technological leap, their own tactics rendered obsolete. This military innovation ensures that the Roman Empire remains the dominant military power in the region. Its enemies, whether barbarian tribes or ambitious empires, think twice before challenging the might of Rome, knowing that the legions are always one step ahead. The Justinian Code, a monumental achievement in legal history, codified Roman law and served as the foundation for legal systems across Europe for centuries. In our alternate timeline, with the Roman Empire still intact, the impact of the Justinian Code is even more profound. Imagine a world where the Justinian Code is not just a historical document, but a living, breathing legal framework, constantly updated and refined to meet the needs of a changing world. Roman legal scholars, working in the grand tradition of Ulpian and Gaius, continue to debate and interpret the law, ensuring its relevance and applicability. The Roman legal system, renowned for its emphasis on fairness, due process, and the rule of law, becomes the model for other civilizations. Ambassadors from neighboring kingdoms flock to Rome, eager to study Roman law and adapt its principles to their own societies. The Roman Empire, even in decline, cast a long shadow over its neighbours. But in our alternate timeline, with its power undiminished, the Roman Empire's relationship with the wider world takes on a new complexity. To the north, the Germanic tribes, unable to exploit the power vacuum of the collapsing Western Roman Empire, are forced to adapt to a different reality. Some tribes, through diplomacy and strategic alliances, are integrated into the Roman fabric, their warriors bolstering the ranks of the legions. Others, maintaining their cultural identity, engage in robust trade with the Roman Empire, exchanging raw materials for Roman manufactured goods and adopting elements of Roman culture and technology. Imagine bustling trading posts along the Rhine and Danube rivers, where Roman merchants and Germanic tribesmen bargain for furs, amber and slaves. To the east, the rise of Islam presents a new challenge to the Roman Empire. However, with its resources and manpower bolstered by centuries of continued stability, the Roman Empire is able to meet this challenge head-on. Imagine fierce battles fought along the shifting sands of the Syrian desert as Roman legions, their tactics honed by centuries of warfare, clash with the armies of the Islamic caliphates. While the outcome of individual battles may vary, the Roman Empire in this timeline is able to hold the line, preventing the rapid expansion of the Islamic caliphates that characterized our own timeline. In our timeline, the fall of Rome marked the beginning of a long period of decline for many Roman cities. But in our alternate timeline, with the Roman Empire still thriving, cities like Rome, Milan and Carthage continue to flourish, becoming centers of culture, commerce and innovation. Imagine Rome, the eternal city, its population exceeding 1 million people, its streets bustling with merchants, artisans and citizens from all corners of the empire. The Colosseum, meticulously maintained, still hosts gladiatorial games and grand spectacles, while the Roman Senate continues to debate the issues of the day. Milan, strategically located at the crossroads of trade routes, becomes a major center of commerce and industry. Its workshops produce fine textiles, glassware and metalwork, exporting these goods to the farthest reaches of the empire. Carthage, once Rome's great rival, experiences a renaissance under continued Roman rule. Its strategic location on the Mediterranean coast makes it a hub for trade with Africa, while its fertile hinterland produces grain, olives and grapes for export. These cities, connected by the empire's extensive road network, become magnets for artists, scholars and intellectuals, fostering a vibrant cultural exchange. Theatres host the latest tragedies and comedies, while bathhouses serve as social hubs, where citizens gather to discuss politics, philosophy and the latest gossip. The Roman Empire in this alternate timeline is a predominantly urban one, its cities vibrant centres of human endeavour. The Roman ideal of urban life, with its emphasis on public spaces, civic duty and cultural enrichment, continues to capture the imagination of its citizens, drawing people from the countryside to seek their fortunes in the bustling metropolises of the Roman world. Even in this alternate timeline, where the Roman Empire defies historical precedent and endures for centuries beyond its traditional lifespan, nothing lasts forever. By the 8th century AD, the empire, though still a force to be reckoned with, begins to show signs of strain. Centuries of relative peace, while fostering prosperity and cultural achievement, have also led to complacency among the Roman elite. Corruption, once kept in check, begins to seep into the corridors of power, eroding the efficiency of the Roman bureaucracy. Meanwhile, on the empire's northern frontier, a new threat emerges. The Lombards, a Germanic tribe known for their martial prowess and ambition, have been watching the Roman Empire, sensing an opportunity in its apparent complacency. Despite their technological advancements and military prowess, the Roman legions, led by an increasingly out-of-touch patrician class, find themselves ill-prepared for the ferocity and tenacity of the Lombard assault. The Lombards, masters of siege warfare, slowly chip away at the Roman frontiers, their victories fueled by a hunger for land and plunder. Imagine the once impregnable walls of Roman cities crumbling under the relentless assault of Lombard siege engines. The Roman legions, their discipline faltering in the face of this new enemy, fight bravely, but are ultimately unable to stem the tide. The fall of the Western Roman Empire, even in this alternate timeline, is a gradual but inexorable process. One by one, Roman cities fall to the Lombards, each defeat further weakening the empire's grip on its territory and its people's morale. We've journeyed together through a world where the Western Roman Empire defied destiny, enduring for centuries beyond its historical expiration date. We've witnessed the potential ramifications of such a prolonged existence, from the preservation of classical knowledge to the rise of a unified Christian faith. But even in this alternate timeline, the empire eventually succumbed to internal decay and external pressures. It reminds us that even the mightiest empires are not immune to the forces of history. What if the Roman Empire had held on for 50% longer? Could it have adapted to meet the challenges of a changing world, or was its eventual fall inevitable? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration of alternate history, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more thought-provoking journeys into the what-ifs of our past.